All right, last question. Finding the volume of Gabriel's horn, or finding the volume of the graph y equals 1 over x. Now, what's interesting about this is y equals 1 over x is really interesting. It's a graph that looks something like this. So on one side, we go towards infinity, and on the other side, we go towards infinity. So we're going to make this one tiny, teeny step easier. And we're going to say, hey, we're going to go from this point right here that way. So can we find the volume of this shape? Well, we're going to rotate this shape around the x-axis, and when we do, we get a circle. The area of a circle is pi r squared. R in this case is 1 over x. So when you solve this guy out, when you set this integral up, it's going to be improper because we're going to go from 1 to infinity of pi times the radius squared. Well, what we're going to do then is we're just going to use our rules of impropers. We're going to let b go to infinity, and we're going to look at the integral from 1 to b of, now watch this here, pi over x squared dx. Okay? So when you integrate this, remember this is actually x to the negative 2. So this is like saying that we're integrating from 1 to b, pi times negative x to the negative 2. So when I integrate that, I add 1 and divide by that new number. That's going to get me pi, negative pi over x. And we're going to evaluate this from 1 to b, and we're going to take the limit as b goes to infinity. Okay? Stop minus start in this situation. So we're stopping at b. All right? So negative pi over b minus negative pi over 1. And as b goes to infinity, the pi never changes, and this guy goes to 0. All right? And so what happens is the area under this curve, which is referred to, believe it or not, as Gabriel's horn, so this area right in here, actually has a finite volume. And that finite volume is going to be positive pi. Because when you look at the limit, we're going to look at the limit as b goes to infinity of negative pi over b plus pi. Pi is a constant, so as b grows larger, pi never changes. And since pi is a constant, as b grows larger, this number right here, this guy, he grows smaller. So there you go, Gabriel's horn. We can find the volume going from 1 to infinity. Now here's the question. Can we find the volume between 1 and 0? Maybe that's something that we can do in class.